Okay, so here we are to look back at problem situation 2 in lesson 2.7. We're on page 238. So if you can look at that graph, it's a little hard if I kind of hold it up, it's hard to see, but this is the graph that you should be looking at. It looks like this. It says median and average sales price of new homes sold in the U.S. So if you look at that graph, you can see that, again, their years are on the bottom, the prices are along the side. The darker line is the median price, and the lighter line is the average price. So obviously home prices have gone up from 1963 to 2014. That's not a surprise. The average price in pretty much every case is either basically almost in line with the median or above it. So if you think about that, if you took all of the home prices of houses that were sold this year and lined them up from smallest to largest, if you look at the median price, that's going to be one amount, but the average gets pulled up by those really, expensive multi-million-dollar houses. So the house prices can go just very, very high on the high end, but they can only go so low on the low end, right? So that's why the average is going to be a little bit higher. So if we look over here at number 4, it gives a sample table there in table 1. Those are some sales prices of a sample of new homes sold in the U.S. in 1977. So if we look at that, we see they're in order from smallest to largest. There are 7 of them. So that means there's just one number in the middle. It's going to be that $48,800. That's going to be the median sale price for 1977. If we look over on the graph, so you can look across the bottom for the year, the years that are listed are 1975 and 1978. So 1977 is just before 1978 there, and we can see that that median, that darker line, is a little bit below 50,000. So 48,800 makes sense. And then we can see that in that year, the average is a little higher than that, maybe just a little bit higher than 50,000, okay? Which makes sense with these numbers. I have a 35,000, a 77,000, little over 50 is right in the middle. So then what it asks us to do in table 2 is we're given 5 sets of possible data for 2005. We want to figure out which of these sets could be possible values of house sales based on what we have in the graph without actually figuring out the mean using a calculator. Okay, so let's first look at our graph over here. Let's find 2005 and follow that line up, and we see that the median price that year was $240,000. That's where that darker line crosses the axis there. So 240,000 was our median. And if we look, our average was just about 300,000, our mean. So our median was 240,000 for that year, and our average was 300,000. So now we want to look back at our possibilities in table 2 and see which of those would work for this. So let's first look at the median. If we look at all of those lists of values, we see that each one of those, set A, set B, set C, each of those is listed from lowest, from smallest number to largest. So they're already in order. So the median is going to be that middle number. So it's going to be the 4th one down in each of those. So the first thing we want to do is figure out which of those sets would have a median of 240,000. So you can pause the video if you want for a minute and go ahead and look at those and decide which of those sets can we throw out, can we eliminate because they do not have a median of 240,000. So I'll give you a minute. Go ahead and pause the video and figure out which of those can be eliminated because they have the wrong median. Okay, so hopefully you got a chance to look at that. And hopefully you decided that out of these 5 sets, we were going to eliminate set A and set C. Set A has a median of 248,800. Okay, it's not too far off from 240,000, but when we looked at that graph for 2005, the median was very clearly here, not above it, not almost to 250. And C has a median that's way too low. The median in C is 146,400. If you didn't see where those came from before, again, just pause the video and take another look and make sure you see where I got these numbers from. So set A and set C cannot possibly be the values for 2005 because the 2005 values need a median of 240,000. So that leaves B, D, and E. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that B and E are the correct choices here. So if we look at B and E, without actually calculating the mean, we see that set B goes from about 84,000 to 800,000. Most of them are below 300,000, right? So the first 5 of them are lower, and then there's a couple that are higher. It's going to pull our average up a little bit. But 300,000 is a reasonable mean for B. And the same thing for E. Okay, again, the first 5 of those are smaller. We have a few that are up a little bit in the 600,000s. That's going to pull that average up a little bit, but not too much. So these two are possible choices for sample home prices for 2005. Let's look at D and see why D could not be the right answer. If you look at the values for D, just take a minute to look down through those values and think about why the average or mean could not be 300,000 for those. Okay, so if you aren't sure yet, let me give you this little hint. Let's say that someone has these test grades in my class. Okay, their test grades are 70, 75, 72, and 78. These are the only test grades. Can their test average be a 90? Well, of course not, right? It doesn't make sense. Why is that? Because your average is kind of the middle number within a set of numbers. What happens in the middle? I can't have all grades in the 70s and expect my average to be 90 because I don't have anything that high. So the same thing happens in D. If you notice, the lowest house value in this set is 74,000. The highest house value is only 251,000, and the rest are in between there. It's kind of the same idea here. If my highest house value is only 251,000, the average can't be 300,000. They're all below it. Okay, so that's why D doesn't work. Even though it has the correct median, it could not have the correct mean. Okay, so that's what we did Monday in our Zoom sessions. And Wednesday, tomorrow, we will be reviewing. So the review sheet for Module 2 is up in Blackboard. There is also actually an answer key up there, so you can check your answers if you'd like. And then tomorrow, during the Zoom sessions on Wednesday, I will just be taking any questions you have about that review sheet or about anything else in the module. We'll spend a few minutes at the beginning just reviewing, refreshing our memory about what was in each of those lessons that we did, okay? And also, if you are not able to do the Zoom on Wednesday, or if you have more questions than that, you're always welcome to email me. I'm going to have office hours on Thursday, I think between 11 and 12 on Zoom. I'll send out an email about that, but even without that, you can just email me anytime with any questions, all right? Thank you.